Okay. What word do you see in that linear pair? Line. Okay. So we are trying to make a line out of two angles is essentially what's happening. So it's a pair of adjacent. Do you remember what adjacent means? Next to. So it's a pair of angles that are next to each other. They're going to share a common ray. Okay. Adjacent angles whose non-common sides are opposite rays. Let me show you what I mean by that. If you look at this picture, you have ray BA right here, right? And then you have ray BC here. Those are opposite rays, okay? How many degrees make up an opposite ray? What does that angle measure? A straight line. Do you know? This right here, do you know how many degrees that is, that arc?
180?
Yes. So a linear pair is going to have opposite rays with a ray in between that is shared by those two angles, and they are going to form a pair that are supplementary. Remember what supplementary means? 180. Okay, 180 degrees. So basically what's happening is two angles right next to each other that make 180 degrees because they are forming a straight line, max.
So who picked 180?
Brilliant mathematicians found that a circle has 360 degrees of rotation. So when you cut that in half and only go halfway, that would be 360 cut in half, and that's 180. I don't know which mathematician came up with that, but it's brilliant, right? Okay, so this is all we're doing. Angle bisect. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. We're doing the linear pair, and then we're going to do the angle bisector, and then we're done. Short and sweet, okay? Stick with me. What?
I used to eat Play-Doh as a kid, and then my parents got stopped.
Yeah, my parents had to give me kinetic sand instead.
I didn't. They just didn't.
Oh dear. Okay. Anyway, KPL. Take a look at this. Angle KPL is right here, right? You start at K, go through P and through L. Okay, so that's KPL. Stick with me. Excuse me. You can do it. JPL. Okay, here's JPL. So that's represented by this angle. And it says KPL and JPL are a linear pair. What is a linear pair? How many angles? A pair. Two angles, right? A pair is two angles, and they form how many degrees together?
180.
180, okay? So you're looking at two angles that add up to 180. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to take this, and you are going to take your 2x plus 24 and your 4x plus 36 and add them together and set them equal to 180, right? Anytime you see a straight line, like this straight line with two angles, you will set it equal to 180 every single time, okay? So let's simplify that. We get 2x plus 4x is 6x. 24 plus 36 is 60, and that equals 180. What's your next move?
Subtract the 60.
Take away the 60. So you get 6x equals 120, and then divide by 6. So x is 20. Okay. If we're trying to find the measure of each angle, what do we do?
You plug the x back in.
You are going to plug it back in. So if I want the measure of angle KPL, I'm going to plug the 20 in where that x is. So it's going to be 2 times 20 plus 24. Can anyone do that in their head?
64.
Good job. So 2 times 20 is 40 plus 24. So that would be a 64 degree angle. Okay. Same thing then for JPL. JPL is 4 times 20 plus 36. So we're going to plug it in. Can you do that in your head?
106. No.
Ooh, close.
116.
116. So here's what I want you to notice. If you look at those two angles, what is their sum?
180.
180. That's how you know you did it right? They add up to 180. They make that straight line. Therefore, we know we got it. What?
I just noticed where's Truett? Should I email?
I don't know. It says he's excused, so he knew he was going to be gone. Okay, so now look at this. It says, what is the measure of each angle? That's a Q, by the way. They decided to throw a different variable in there. See if you can set that up. Same type of problem. You're going to do the exact same thing, just with some different numbers. Set it up and try it yourself, and I will come around. Okay, let's take a look. So you're adding them together. 7Q minus 46 plus 3Q plus 6, and setting them equal to what?
180.
180. It's a straight line. Okay, so set it equal to 180. Then simplify. So 7Q plus 3Q. Make sure you're using the sign in front of the number, not the one that's right behind the first number, right? We're not using the minus there. 7Q plus 3Q would be 10Q. Okay, here's where you have to use the other sign. Negative 46 plus 6 is what?
40.
Negative 40. So this is going to be minus 40 equals 180. Did you go plus?
Plus 40.
Minus 40. So now you would go plus 40. So 10Q equals, 220, and then divide by 10. So Q is 22. Okay, and then if I ask you for the measure of each angle, you would plug it in, which I'm not going to plug those in with you right now because we did it on the last one, and I want to make sure we get through the rest of this. But you just plug it in there.
I like that one. It's actually pretty easy.
Good. Yeah, you're just always looking for that straight line. If the line is straight like this for two angles, it's always equal to 180. Okay, look for that. Look for equal to 180. Okay, this is the last type of thing we're going to talk about. That's an angle bisector. Do you remember what a bisector is? We talked about a bisector the other day with segments. What is a bisector?
Both.
I know what you're thinking, both. There's two pieces to it, right? Sections, two equal sections, right? Two equal angles. So if something is an angle bisector, it's cutting an angle into two equal parts, right? So we would say right now this is an angle bisector, which means angle XAY and angle, I'm going to write that, angle XAY is congruent to angle YAZ. Okay, so an angle bisector is a ray that divides an angle into two congruent angles. Okay, now, knowing that, I fully believe that you can all figure out the answer to example 2 here. It says AC, so this ray, bisects. What does it mean to bisect? Cut in two equal parts, right? Cut in half. So if the measure of angle DAC, here's DAC. The measure of angle DAC is 58. And they told us it is bisected, meaning this angle is congruent to that angle. What is the measure of DAB? Look at DAB here. Here's DAB is the whole thing.
116.
116, right? If they're congruent, then this is 58. So the measure of angle DAB would be 58 plus 58, which is 116.
Can't you just take a protractor and measure?
Except that that's not necessarily drawn to scale, so no.
Okay.
But yes, if it was drawn to scale, you totally could. But typically I'll either say use your protractor to measure it, or I'll give you like numbers and variables and then you don't use your protractor to measure it.
Yeah, because then like if it's not right and it's obvious that it's 58 times 2.
Yeah.
Was Tourette illness?
No, just excused.
Yeah, that's what happened to me yesterday.
Um,
I was running over.
were you gone?
Yeah, I went home after lunch.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so example 3, I just want you to mark this for me. Angle DAB. What is that angle?
Oh, one.
Highlight it or write it in, and then we'll just make sure everyone's got it, because this angle stuff tends to be a lot of times where we get mixed up. DAB. Did you do this one? Okay, that should be angle DAB. What would, I'm going to switch colors here, angle CAB be? CAB would be this one. So what is the measure of angle CAB in this picture? 58, right? The markings tell me they're congruent. These tell me that they're both 58. Okay. Any questions on that? All right.